movie not too long ago, and Mario as a party directed it. Chief. Okay, Chief. And so I did this movie, a sci-fi movie, a remake of Hansel and Gretel. I'm Hansel, Shannon Doherty's Gretel.
Makes sense.
What you've always wanted, I know. And Mario as a party, who directed a few episodes of Atlantis, and he was a big character, big Maltese man, you know. Chief, okay. When you're doing the scene, Chief, okay, you're fighting it's a big monster, Chief, it's like a gargoyle. I'm like, okay, how big's the gargoyle? I don't know, Chief, just fight the gargoyle. I'm like, so I don't see what I'm fighting, so he has a cardboard cutout of the gargoyle in front of me. It's like, I'm going, is this what happened to me? And he's in front of me holding the gargoyle, and he goes, it's big, Chief, take the sword, cut the gargoyle's head off, Chief. I go, how big is it? It's big, Chief, it's like 17, 20 feet tall. And then the CGI guy comes over and goes, actually no, Mario, it's about 10 feet tall. This is after I've done 2 scenes fighting a giant gargoyle. So it's good to know how big what you're dealing with in the CGI.
It is the most play pretend part of their job. I mean, like, it's back to just like literally, you know, in the backyard pretending you have a sword, pretending you're fighting a monster. It's basically the same thing. That's a tough part. I'd love to tell Mario stories, but I can't do them without swearing.
I
will say this: Mario directed, I think, 38 minutes. He directed 38 minutes, and he directed some of the early episodes on, and the show had just premiered. I think he directed Letters from Pegasus, actually, and the show had just premiered, and we had 4 million viewers or whatever, and we came into the production meeting, and he was like, 4 million viewers, 2 hours, that is 8 million human hours you have wasted. You will pay. We will all pay for this one day. Okay, scene 1.
Exactly. I remember Mark was there, and he came up and he did a scene, and this character eventually got killed fairly shortly in the show. Can I say what it is?
Sure.
Groden. And we're all doing the scene, you know, we're sitting through the scene, and Martin's there, he's kind of, you know, Mario's directing the episode, he's like, okay, let's read the scene, Chief. And it was a boardroom scene, quite long, sort of a laborious scene. Martin's just kind of hanging out. Sometimes he pop down and say hi, and it was early in the season, so, you know, the writers are kind of keen. Martin's there, and Mario's reading it. So, okay, good. Okay, one problem, okay? The scene is crap. We all know that. Okay? This is garbage, okay? This is you know, we have to get through this. Exposition, okay? Now, when you're dealing with a shit scene, and Martin's standing there, I see Martin's face like, see. Okay, let's get through the scene. Another problem. You, Chief, to Groden. I don't believe it, what you're saying.
Yeah. He during Hot Zone, there are these extras, and everybody is waiting to see if this electromagnetic pulse, you know, is going to save everybody's life. Otherwise, everyone's dead. And he's like, we're panning over the, you know, background performer is a tough job. Basically, you just show up and you're supposed to do nothing. So they were doing their job, and he was panning over them, and he's like, pretend like you have lives that are worth saving. Look. Put a face on that makes me think you think you're worth saving. I don't believe it. I know it's not true. You're extras. And roll.
And you're all in suits. We're in hazmat suits.
Yeah.
Pouring sweat.
Oh, God.
And when you put it down, it immediately fogs over, so they're like, cut, and then the wet inside of it. I'm like, this is a nightmare.
We could do a whole panel on Mario. Let's not. Anybody else?
Look, come on, Mario's fantastic. Please.
Hi, this question's for Paul. I wanted to know what it was like working on A Dog's Breakfast with David Hewlett and McGillon.
Torture. He kissed me, never forget that. It was good he actually made me dressed as a woman in that too as well. So,
It's a fantasy for him.
yeah, let's not read into this too much, but David, I'd like to. Yes,
I'd like to read into it.
Yes. So David is in love with me. And frankly, I can't blame him. It was a lot of fun. I often say, you know, I remember looking at the story, and there's one scene in particular that sticks out. The whole shoot, pouring rain, and David's character falls out of the window. He's naked, lying on the mud outside. He has soap suds on his bum. I'm standing over him, dressed as a woman, full heels, and the camera, the tape runs out, and like, oh, we have to change, the tape. I'm like, okay, great. I look at David, I'm holding an umbrella over him. He's naked. And I look at him, he's looking at me, I'm like, this better be funny. He goes, you're not kidding. And then my heels sink into the mud. Horrible. But honestly, a lot of fun, and I think you did a great job.
The story kind of got me hot.
Pretty sexy, I gotta be honest with you. And then David rolled around in the mud. We want to go. He goes, that's a European version. Please.
Who's next?
Later.
Okay.
Hi, this is another question for Paul. Oh, okay. Anyway, this was hopefully the Stargate Atlantis movie, which will hopefully actually have gotten to the point that you've seen how big a role Beckett has in this. If so, can you say how big is Beckett will be in the movie, and what do you think of what they do with him in it, without spoiling us too much?
He's asking. Let me answer that, since I'm actually Stargate Extinction is what you're asking about, which is the movie, the Atlantis movie. No one has. Very few people have read that script. It is top secret, and
I'm in it, right?
you're in it, yeah. And that's the answer. So we can't. That's under lock and key. I think about 10 people have had their eyes on it. Yeah, we're just waiting for. It's tough, like those with the Stargate movies. The Continuum and Arc of Truth were done at a different time. It's crazy how quick the industry can change. But DVDs don't sell that well anymore. It's not the same. You can't make the money that you once would. And I know there's a reluctance on all of our parts. We don't want to do an inferior product for you guys, and just be like, is that shit made of cardboard? You don't want that. Just like the explosions are just sparklers. No one wants that. That would be pretty fun, actually. It'd be a fun show to do. So, it's definitely something everyone is really passionate about and everyone wants to do. We just don't know when we're going to have a chance to get all the money together and do it right.
Do you guys want that to happen? Be fun. How you doing, sir?
Well, thank you. Question for Martin. Bored to Death and YPF are very much different than Stargate, and you did at least partly switch between the two.
Yeah.
As you were helping out with the universe and writing the first season of Bored to Death. How do you keep the two different, and what type of mindset do you have? Do you ever fall into Stargate stuff when you're trying to do stuff for Bored to Death?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, what was the first part of the question? Anyway,
It's kind of hard to hear.
it is kind of hard to hear. Sorry. I did YPF, as you so eloquently called it. There are children present, so we'll keep it quiet. Thank you. Oh, thank you, all 4 of you. I have a fan base right here. I got 4 right here to watch my movies and my other TV shows. I did YPF during Stargate between the 3rd and 4th season, and then the 4th and 5th season. It was a lot. I gained a lot of weight and I became very cranky. I basically became David. It was tough because I would
More handsome though. Very much more handsome.
Yeah, thank you. I would work on Stargate Monday to kind of Friday afternoon, and then fly to Toronto Friday night, work on the film Saturday, Sunday, and then fly back Sunday night and do that for a year, and you begin to lose the ability to want to live. But do I fall back? Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I miss writing science exposition, and I write it into shows that there's no need for it to be in for Bored to Death. I've definitely tried to work in, some. We just did a Comic-Con episode at Bored to Death, and there's But unfortunately, there were no Stargate costumes left. We'd auctioned them all away. Isn't that crazy? And so
I have mine at home.
I know. I have my Danger Beckett outfit. I should have just thrown down.
Do you really?
I do. Yeah.
We should pull that up maybe.
Yeah, one day. So yeah, no, I mean, I really, you know, you write so many of them, it becomes ingrained. And the reason I wrote YPF was because I was so terrified that if I kept writing Stargate, I needed to write something with a swear in it before I lost the ability to know how. So, yeah. Hope that answered whatever your question was.